Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Stay Creative York County. In today's episode we're going to be using polymer clay to create a crochet hook handle. Make sure that you have a metal crochet hook for this and some polymer clay, and that's really all you need besides a work surface and an oven. So make sure you have a metal crochet hook, as we are going to be putting this into the oven, so no plastic and no woods. I'm going to be using Sculpey, but you can use any polymer clay. This one is labeled as oven baked clay, and it also includes the instructions on how to bake it in the oven. This one gives you the time you should be using per 1/4 inch. We are not going to have a very thick creation today, so we're only going to need about 10 to 15 minutes in the oven. So I'm going to be using 3 colors, white, green, and black. White and green are going to be my main colors. I'm going to take 1/4 of the polymer clay block of white and green, and I'm going to be taking 1/8 of a block for the black, which will be my accent color. Once I have my polymer clay measured out, I want to make it more pliable and workable. So I am taking each thing of clay by itself, and I'm pinching it, twisting it, and manipulating it with my hands to make a more pliable piece of what I would call dough in a way. It's going to be more like a Play-Doh consistency, maybe not as soft, but it needs to be softer so we can work with it more easily. It can also be a little bit tough to use if it's cold, so maybe hold it in your hands for a little while if your hands are arthritic or if you have hand pain. So once we have it into a pliable little dough ball, we're going to be using the flat of our hand against a hard surface and roll it back and forth, which will create a rope. So I'm going to go to about 6 inches with my rope, and I'm going to do that for the green. And the black, since it's the accent piece, is going to be about half the width. So I'm going to make sure it's half the width and cut off any excess. Then I'm going to take all 3 of my ropes into my hands, hold on to the ends, and twist in opposite directions with my hands. Now they're going to be twisting together. I'm going to start slow at first because the clay is still a little bit cold and not pliable. So I'm going to start very slow and just create multiple little twists. This is going to help us create the design on the inside. Then I'm going to fold my creation into half and start to twist the ends again. As I'm twisting, I'm also kind of pulling out, and this creates a longer piece that I can then fold. You can twist and fold for as long as you would like to. I think I did it 3 times for my piece, and you can see the outside changing. So once I got it to the desired folding and twisting, I'm now going to be taking my rope and I'm going to be using my fingers by pinching on either end and pushing together. So I'm making more of a compact design or a compact rope. I'm going to be using my fingers and the table to create flat edges. So I'm going to be creating more of a rectangular prism, I guess you could say, instead of a round rope. So once I have my block made, I'm going to be putting it into a Ziploc bag and into the fridge and put it there for about 30 minutes. This will make it easier for me to cut. So now I'm going to be taking a knife and I'm going to be using it to cut my piece, kind of like I'm cutting bread. And you can start to see that the design is on the inside and it looks a lot different than what you may have, but I'm also going to cut a couple of pieces to see how it changes as I go down the cane. So this design that I've created is what we call a cane, and I'm cutting off slices from the cane. The cane has a marble design on the inside, and I'm taking my slices from the cane up against the crochet hook and selecting pieces that I like, and I'm making sure that it will cover where I need it to be. I'm going to wrap the excess in some plastic wrap and put that in an airtight container. I'm going to take the slices from the cane and put onto the crochet hook and push down on either side of the slice. I'm going to continue this down the crochet hook with each slice until I have one side covered. So I'm kind of like rounding it on the sides. So now you can see it's not covered on this side. So I'm going to use my fingers to further pinch and pull the pieces, the slices, and the ends together. I'm going to roll it in my hand to help connect it, and then roll it onto the table to connect it further. So now you can check to make sure that nothing is peeking through. You can't see the crochet hook at all. So now that I have it completely covered, I'm going to look around. You might see some fingerprints. I'm going to use some cornstarch and my finger to rub on the outside to smooth out any creases or fingerprints. Then I'm going to take my crochet hook covered in polymer clay, put it onto some aluminum foil, and put it into the oven. Make sure you follow the directions that are on the package for your polymer clay. I'm testing it, and yep, it's hard, it's not pliable. Now if you wanted to, you could cover this in Mod Podge, gloss, or matte, but I'm just going to use it as is. So I hope you found this interesting today, friends. And remember always to stay creative, York County.